Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Anna. I'm a third year psychology student and this video is a psychology video. Today's topic is something known as the Google effect, or it's also known as digital amnesia. I hope you get to learn something new in this video. Let me know any more topics you are interested in that you would like to hear me talk about. What is the Google effect? Tendency to forget information that is available anytime, anywhere. You just have access to it much easier. For example, through the use of Google, which is why it's called a Google effect, because you can type in anything into Google and get a response very quickly. So the interesting thing is that we tend to forget information that is easy knowledge, that is available anywhere because of that. An example will be in the next explanation, because another explanation of this effect is when you forget information that is kind of easy to remember for you, and it's information that we can look up very quickly. For example, your phone number, or your friend's phone number, or your parents' phone number, or their address. It's information that should be quite easy for you to remember, and you look at this information quite often, but you still don't remember just because it's stored in a specific place, such as a phone number is stored in a phone, and you can look that up in the blink of an eye. So your brain doesn't remember that information, because why would it waste energy to remember that information when it's so easily accessible to you? Who came up with this concept? Betsy Sparrow and her colleagues at Columbia University. In 2011 it was first studied by this researcher and her colleagues, and they were interested in seeing if people have started to treat the internet as a external memory storage. As you are well aware, the internet is a big part of everyone's lives. It stores so much information and it's accessible to a lot of people, and you can get information so quickly, so it makes sense that people would treat it as a memory storage. And what's interesting is that these researchers found that this is in fact true. Something interesting that these researchers found is that people are more likely to look up very easy to remember information, and when they find it, and if it's easy to find, they won't remember the information. They're more likely to remember where they found it. They also found that information that is not available on the internet is more likely to be remembered. An example of this would be you look up the definition of a word and a couple days later you forget it already, or you look up a fact that could be easy to remember, it's not too complicated, but you forget it like a day later or even the same day. What is interesting about this is that it applies to our society right now, and if the internet didn't exist, then this wouldn't be a thing. And I find that so fascinating, how interesting to me how the world is changing, and like to think in 50 years we will have certain problems or effects or side effects of things that may be happening now, and we just don't know. Or we do know, like for example the long-term effects of online education on younger children. That is something I'm interested in and kind of worries me, because even the effect of internet, and I think I read somewhere that our attention span is a little less than it was some time ago, I don't know, because of apps such as TikTok, where you watch videos which are a couple seconds long, and even in like the first 5 seconds you could lose interest. Who knows, maybe there'll be a TikTok effect in the future, which sounds stupid, but I don't really know why I'm talking about this, but it's something I've been thinking about. Kind of ties into this, I guess. Okay, so this happens. I guess it's bad, but it can also be good. The good thing about this is that it's so that our brains are not overloaded with information and there's not too much going on in our brains, although there probably is a lot going on in everyone's brains every day. So why would you need to know information that you can look up like right now? Like your brain can use that space for something else, so I guess that's good. We don't want to overwork our brains at times. However, of course, the bad thing here is that we rely on the internet so much, and just in general the society. And I feel weird talking about this because I know it applies to me too. I use my laptop like 8 hours in the day. Sometimes I always have my phone next to me, so we all, especially now, rely on the internet a lot. I just find it weird to think that that was not a problem many years ago. We think that that information will be accessible forever and that we will always have the internet, and we don't know if we will. I mean, all that information is stored on Google. Imagine if one day it just all disappeared. So I guess we shouldn't rely on Google to have knowledge. It's good to learn things. That's why this isn't useful for long-term learning. How can you avoid this when you are faced with it kind of every single day? Being aware of it. It's kind of a thing for everything. You want to look up something on Google, you know you'll get the result like in 0.0.01 second. But maybe you have a book next to you that you could use to look up a definition of a word, and maybe then by reading that and thinking about it, you can store that information in your brain, because then it will be useful to you and you won't be forgetting an important word which could be important to your education, I don't know, instead of relying on Google just to know the definition to everything. Just looking to other resources of information and not just Google being your only source of information. Okay, that would be all for this video. I talked about some things which I want to expand more on in other videos, so if you're interested in those topics then let me know, and let me know if you ever heard of this effect, if you've ever become aware of it, because I think it is quite interesting, especially in today's age and society. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.